Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and Restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to Monday, April 5's recap of The Young and the Restless, Abbott will approach Claire Newman as an ally of Adam Newman. Let's discuss what is next in Genoa City as Sally Spectra will be alarmed by Phyllis Summers' threat. Upon his return from Boston with Damien Kane, Nate Hastings will locate Audra Charles at Society and provide a report on the progress of Amy Lewis' treatment. Nate will become worried when he finds out that Victor Newman is withholding the funds, even though Audra will be raving about all of her ideas for Vibrante. But now that Nate is at last home, Audra will want to shift the topic and refrain from bickering. Nate will be optimistic about Damien's walls coming down since he will talk about how he and Damien will bond during his vacation. Damien will also tell Lily Winters that Amy is doing well and admit that he had some fruitful talks with Nate during their absence at Crimson Lights. Damien will express regret to Lily for his protective behavior when he first arrived in town and ponder what it will take for her to trust him. Lily will remind Damien that she is still interested in learning Aristotle Dumas' plans, and she will offer that perhaps he might arrange for her to meet with him in person. Though he will be eager to try to make arrangements, Damien will mistrust his ability to persuade Aristotle to comply. Damien will want to go to the Neil Winters Jazz Lounge and experience it through Lily's eyes after he requests a favor in exchange. Lily and Damien will end up connecting at the bar over losing their fathers too soon when Damien asks her to join him for a drink. Phyllis will believe that Sally and Billy Abbott are celebrating her termination from Abbott Communications since she will see them sipping champagne together at the GCAC. Phyllis will continue to be concerned and insist that this is only a temporary sabbatical, even if Sally and Billy will refute that. Billy will caution that it won't happen, despite Phyllis's expectations that she and Daniel Romalotti Jr. will return to the organization. When Phyllis finds out that Sally will be taking her place, she will bring up Billy's propensity to hire his girlfriends and then fire them. When Sally slips and falls and finds herself on her own, Phyllis will believe she will get the last laugh. Billy will try to get Phyllis to go, but she will argue and eventually remark that he will regret what he did to her. Billy will attempt to minimize the incident as one of her usual tantrums once Phyllis leaves. In contrast, Sally will appear to be far more concerned about the genuine threat that Phyllis presented. After returning to the coffee shop, Phyllis will settle into a booth and order a double-shot espresso. At that point, Phyllis will say, "This isn't over by a long shot." Kyle will confess to telling his ex about their intention to move in together and tell Claire about Summer Newman's trip to Milan while they are at the Abbott mansion. Claire will discover that, all things considered, Summer was quite calm about it. Kyle will then show Claire a picture of what might be their future house on Monday's episode of YNR. He will explain that it's Adam Newman's old residence now that he's moved into the old ranch house. Claire will be a little irritated with Kyle since he will acknowledge that he checked into the listing without first speaking to her. But when Kyle acknowledges that he simply became overly eager, Claire will become more understanding. Kyle will also mention that they might be able to win Adam around to their cause with Victor if they purchase the property from him. Since Adam hasn't been Claire's biggest fan, she won't know if that will help, and she'll be shocked that Kyle wants to try to win Adam over as an ally. Following the creation of a list of advantages and disadvantages, Claire will determine that Adam's former residence is a viable alternative and will suggest that they visit it. Kyle will propose that they move in together within the month after Claire promises to find a way to bring it up to Adam and arrange something. According to previews for The Young and the Restless, Kyle and Claire's plans can take unexpected turns, so keep an eye out. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Victoria Newman might be planning a wedding. Before it's too late, would Victoria wish to wed dying Cole Howard? Many people are becoming anxious about Cole's diagnosis because he is quite sick. It's probable that Cole is dealing with a potentially devastating medical problem. Has Cole's sorrowful journey toward a terrible end already been started by YNR? Victoria will feel as though her second opportunity with Cole has been taken away from her if that is the case. After being apart for a long time, Cole and Victoria recently got back together. Cole's perfect family ending with Victoria and Claire Newman may now be ruined by a terrible sickness. It's possible that Victoria no longer believes she has as much time as ever to marry Cole. It's easy to envision Victoria deciding they should get married while they can if Cole is actually dying. One of Cole's last fantasies might be to pop the question to Victoria and have their hurried wedding. However, Victoria might be the one to propose and declare her desire to marry Cole as soon as possible. In any case, as they enter a challenging final chapter of their relationship, YNR may arrange a quick marriage ceremony for Victoria and Cole. Although they would prefer to spend more time together, they may have to make the most of their remaining time together. Keep checking back for updates on any wedding forecasts and preparations that may be made, as it may involve organizing Cole and Victoria's wedding. At the end of the day, a wedding can provide a sad celebration before Cole's death. As the conclusion approaches, Victoria may decide to wed Cole, therefore it will be intriguing to watch if the program follows that plot line. According to previews for The Young and the Restless, Cole is about to receive some awful medical news, which could result in the end of his life. Phyllis is not feeling well. After her son's wife was killed, the redhead was abducted, imprisoned, and almost killed. Life is becoming worse now. Red is being led by Young and Restless into a massive breakdown that will affect not one, but two relationships in Genoa City. When Daniel's long-term girlfriend, Heather, was killed in their apartment, Phyllis was horrified. The fact that her son was set up for the murder, however, was what really made Phyllis anxious. As if that weren't awful enough, she had a suspicion that her lifelong adversary was behind it all, and she was right. Sharon dumped Heather's body in the river and set Daniel up, even though it turned out that she was under the influence of drugs and didn't kill her. Even in light of the exceptional circumstances, Phyllis's animosity toward Sharon persisted. Finding herself abducted and imprisoned in an abandoned mental health facility alongside the blonde was therefore quite upsetting. Even though they had to sort out their differences with one another during their captivity, the whole ordeal left Sharon and Phyllis traumatized again because they were treated like lab rats and nearly died before being saved. Phyllis has clearly battled, even if Sharon was the most likely choice to emerge from it all with significant mental strain. Phyllis seems to be suffering from a severe case of PTSD in what seems to be the most recent in a long sequence of stories with a mental health theme. She is triggered by any interaction that makes her feel like the aforementioned lab rat. Furthermore, the situation will only worsen. Billy fired Phyllis from his fictitious company, Abbott Communications, when she demonstrated that her obsession with assisting Daniel was preventing her from concentrating on her work. Daniel then requested for space and shoved her away. She was left alone in the park, fighting off a panic attack. Phyllis is unaware that her daughter Summer's decision to leave Genoa City will be the next setback in life. Phyllis Daniel YNR. If you previously believed that Phyllis might be on the verge of a nervous breakdown, you can bet that Summer's departure will hasten the process. What consequences will result? Well, it appears to be a bad situation on two levels.